Good morning from the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your forecaster Jeff Monk looking at the planning outlook on the mountains for the coming week. First of all, just some general comments. Over the weekend and into next week, we're looking at high rainfall or high precipitation over western mountains. There will be three thaw cycles as the temperatures go up and down. One or two periods yet of considerable thaw again on higher summits, and there will be frequent upland gales. And then as we go into next week, it is going to change. It's going to be generally cold with higher summits, perhaps down into England and Wales, often at or below freezing point, and it's going to be less precipitation. I've used the word uniform because under general area of low pressure, it's much more likely that amounts of rain will not vary so much, shall we say, between the mountain areas and the lower areas. Generally speaking, total precipitation across the country not varying that much, although when we get closer to the time, there will no doubt be local maximums apparent. So looking at some charts, I've got some isobar charts, lots of isobars on them. These are at 1 millibar intervals, and the charts courtesy of meteoseal.fr. So this is Friday's chart, a weak ridge of high pressure, but the next weather system coming in, bringing precipitation in later in the day. Lots of isobars on Saturday, easing though over northern Scotland, and that line in the isobars where they kink is actually a cold front, which will be a maximum precipitation. But it's a windy, wet day with low cloud across many mountain areas, with the rainfall probably focused over western Scotland, but there will be a lot of rain over all western mountains in what we call the warm sector. By Sunday, next weather system coming in, again the isobars squeezed together, more upland gales and rain or snow on higher areas coming in from the west. By the time we get to Tuesday, one or two changes, we will have a low across the UK. So what's different? The difference is that this is the last in the series and it's slowing down. In fact, it shows another small low over northern Scotland. Now, this model will not be right. None of them will be correct for Tuesday, but broadly what it's saying is we're going into a period where there will be perhaps several centres of low drifting about in the vicinity of the UK. There'll be curves of precipitation, showery weather associated with the individual lows. But what we find in these cyclonic periods is that between the areas of light winds, sunshine as a cloud breaks up, so it will not be all doom as it were on the mountains. There should be some very good weather to be had, but at this stage not clear which days which areas are going to see the best of the weather. If anything, it's more northern areas, Scotland, particularly northern and western Scotland, which are most favoured by the cyclonic conditions. Some rainfall charts now, and you may be able to see that there's some hatching, white hatching over the highlands. That's where at a few hundred metres the precipitation is likely to be of snow. This is Friday afternoon. A deteriorating day, a ridge of high pressure moving away, wind strengthening, precipitation coming in and setting in over western mountains by about the middle of the afternoon. And by the time it goes dark, that rain pushing in. Probably not particularly heavy by the time we get down into Wales, or particularly persistent, more drizzly down here. But it will be a deteriorating day. By the time we get to Saturday, as I said earlier, very widespread rain, clearing up only in the north. This is actually Saturday afternoon, so it's going to be well into the day that the Northwest Highlands begin to improve. But a lot of poor weather, if you like, over most mountain areas on Saturday. By the time we jump to Monday, Sunday and Monday clustering together, bands of rain pushing eastwards across the country. If anything, least rain across the east, where perhaps some fine weather to be had. And this is Monday, which suggests not too bad conditions over eastern mountains on Monday. And then finally, as we go to Tuesday, by then it's quite speculative because we're not sure exactly where the lows are going to be. But you can see that there's these cusps of precipitation. On this one shown across the borders, northern England and round across Wales. That's the sort of thing we start to get as we get these areas of low pressure slowing down. As I say, the models will not be correct at that stage as to precisely where these lows are. So we will have areas of precipitation drifting about, but really from Tuesday for the rest of the week, much lower precipitation often as snow over the mountains, and probably at times down to the higher summits in the Lake District and Wales as well. So we probably will get some snow which is actually going to lie for a few days, with freezing levels generally down at perhaps 700 or 800 metres across Scotland, a little bit higher perhaps over England and Wales, but that again is going to depend precisely on the tracks of the individual lows. But certainly a quieter, less windy pattern from Tuesday overall, although no doubt associated with the individual lows, local strengthening of the wind toward gale force on upland areas. So do enjoy your time on the mountains over the coming week.